Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Jesse Showalter, and it's Monday. We're getting started with week 2. We have 5 challenges to do this week, and I'm very excited about that. We got people jumping in the live chat right now, so if you're watching on YouTube, come on over to Behance, click on that little live tab, and join us. Have some fun. Tell us what you're excited about for the week. Tell us where you're coming from, because we got amazing people in the chat. We got Sam Peterson, who's moderating. Lazaros is in the chat. Amanda, Chris, Cornell, and Laura Staneva is back. My homegirl, Laura, always in the chat supporting and doing cool stuff. Ariana's here as well. Hey, everybody, let's get started. Let's jump right in to the challenge for the day. But before we do that, let's just quick recap the creative challenge. It's 9 challenges. We started last week, but you're not late if you're coming in now. You can join now. You can join at any time. It's 9 challenges, and each day you receive that challenge. You just hit the big blue button to sign up and get your starting file down below. Today, we're going to be building a habit tracker, and you can find all of this at behance.net/challenge/XD. And later on, we're going to be reviewing work from past challenges at the end of the episode today. We're going to be doing that in our Discord channel, so make sure you sign up for that. Hey, let's jump over to the starting file. Not much here, just says day 5 and a little bit about the challenge. We're going to be designing a mobile habit tracker where users can input habits and track progress over time. I think I really want to focus on drag gestures. Let's do some swipe gestures today and delete or complete some tasks. Maybe see some fun animation. That could be a fun thing to do. And so what do we have? We have a blank artboard entitled Habit Tracker, and we're gonna get started right now. Hey, did you know, this is just pop quiz, what kind of other files can you open inside of XD besides just Adobe XD files? Guess in the chat, you tell me what you think. Can you open Photoshop files? Can you open Premiere Pro files? Could you open an InDesign file? If you said any of those, you'd probably be wrong. But if you said you can open an Illustrator file inside of XD, well, you would be right about that. I can hit open with, excuse me, did I open the right thing? Let's open it with XD. And if I'm trying to open Illustrator, let's close that, because that defeats the purpose of the whole pop quiz that I just held. Hey, so I took my Illustrator file and I said open it with XD, and here it is with all of the layers. You can see inside of my design, it has all the different layers of that, which is exactly what we want. I want this little vector illustration, and I want this little background shape. So I'm gonna just Command or Control C, and I'm gonna come over to the file that I'm working on, and let's just zoom out and Command or Control V and paste that thing in there. So now I have this great little vector, and all of the layers are actually still scalable vectors. So I'll be able to animate and do all sorts of fun stuff with them. That's gonna be really cool. Here's what I'm thinking. Let's draw a rectangle in here, and I'm gonna come over and just curl the corners about 20 pixels on the bottom left and the bottom right hand side. Let's take the border off and just give it a color for now. We could do blue. We could do blue. I'm not sure about this blue. I'm thinking a little bit more on this cool, like, fun purple. I love purple. It's the color of creativity, so that's what I'm thinking. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab that shape. I'm gonna bring it over here, and I'm gonna grab my vector that I just brought in, and I'm gonna scale it down just a little bit. I'm gonna move it right around the spot where I want it, keeping that shape in front of it. I'm gonna select the whole thing, right click, and say mask with shape, or you could use this hotkey of Command or Control Shift M and just mask that with the shape. Now what can I do? I can bring it right on to my my thingamajig, my shape over here, and I can start moving elements around a little bit. This background shape, maybe I want to bring down, and you know that background shape, I think I want to do an overlay and just bring the opacity down so we get just a little bit of kind of fun color play there. That'd be kind of fun. Let's click back inside of our vector, scale it down a little bit more, because I think I have a plan. I want to put a little something up in the top left hand corner. I think that is the plan for me. Now later on, we could 100% come in here and start playing with these vectors, and I think we will. When there's a success, I think we want to make some of the items hop around and dance as a success for completing all of your habits. I think that could be really cool. But for now, let's keep working on this thing. I'm gonna hit another rectangle. I'm gonna draw that out right here, and this time I'm gonna bend all the corners. When I wanted to bend a single corner, I held down Option and I drug in as just a single corner there, but I'm just gonna do all of them and make kind of like a pill style button here. I'm gonna take the border off, or maybe I'll keep the border on actually. And let's go to the fill. Let's bring the inside of the fill just down a little bit. And then let's make the border white. Let's make it pop, like the clients say, like the hip, cool clients say out there. And let's just mess with our transparency here a little bit. It's kind of cool. It's almost like it's matching this color back here a little bit. It's kind of cool. All right, I'm gonna hit some text. I'm gonna put that right in the middle. And I'm gonna put all habits, and this is point text, so I'm going to bring it down to a nice workable size. Let's make it white. It's about 13. Let's make it 12. Let's make it small. Okay, and then let's move it over to the side, and we'll just balance it there. And then I'm going to need a chevron or an arrow. So I'm just going to come in here and use my pen tool and hold down the shift, and I'm going to get automatic 45-degree angles when I do that. See that? See that awesome magic? And we get little smart kind of guides there that tell us when we're matching up. So that's pretty cool. Let's take that guy that we just made. Let's make it white and put round butt caps and edges on it. And I tell you what, it's a little bit wonky. I have a weird wonky little node on there. So let's fix that weird node. I don't know how that happened. That's completely weird. But we fixed it. We made a nice little chevron. Let's put it right in the middle here. This would be like a place where you could, maybe categorize your habits, select them all. Let's just call this pill button, and we'll hit Command or Control K and make a component out of it, just in case in the future in a real project we ever wanted to use it again. That way we could come to our assets panel and just pull out another instance of it like that. If you've never played with components, that's what they're all about. Why don't we hit T again? And who is in the chat today? Let's see. I used Laura Staniva's name the other day. Tia's in the chat. Let's do something like this. Hi, Tia. And we will start kind of using you as our user today, Tia. So thank you for being here in the chat and kind of following along with our daily creative challenges. The daily creative challenges, if this is your first time, let me know if it's your first time, because I'd love to hear. Are you a veteran of the challenges? Are you new to the challenges? That would be cool to find out. So we're using Sophia Pro today. Let's go bold on the name. That could be kind of fun, something like that. Hi, Tia. And then maybe underneath we could shrink this text down to be really small, like a 12. And let's go size-wise, let's go light here. We could do something like, you have 3 habits today. I don't know, something like that. That's not how you spell today at all. Not with a T at the end. That's really, really weird. So let's just kind of push that up closer. We'll lock those together. And then I kind of like this. I feel like our illustration and everything is up just a little bit high. You gotta love it when the Illustrator file is completely editable. I love that. I just think that's so fun. Okay, cool. So something like that. Let's grab the whole thing and group it together, and we'll call this our header. Okay, now let's get to the stuff we really, really want to talk about. We want to talk about to-do items. So first things first, let's give it just a little bit of an off, like a neutral. Actually, let's tell you what, let's start with the purple, and we'll work our way back so that our neutral is just slightly purple. The whole thing kind of comes together and matches. And then let's do this. Let's grab our rectangle and let's get a new version of it. Let's just flip it upside down. This could be fun. And let's make this one pure white, and we'll drag it up like this. Now you got to have a little bit of shadow with a negative Y on the or negative on the Y axis, and we will kind of punch up the blur and bring down the transparency so you can just kind of see a little dimensionality there. That could be pretty fun. I'm digging that. Okay, and then in between here, I'm thinking we could put something fun like what day you're on, right? You could set the habits for different days. So let's build a little day picker here. I'm gonna steal some text from up yonder, as they say here in Texas, where I am located. Where are you guys located? Let's see, Lazaros is from Greece, and Abner is from Brooklyn. So we got people literally all over the world. Okay, what are we? We're on Monday today, so let's put a little Monday in there. And then I forget what day today is. It's the 16th. So let's put a 16 in there. Let's make sure both these pieces of text are center text, center line text, and then also drop that inside. Let's take the border off this thing. move that in. And I tell you, you kind of want to mess with the sizing, and you want to create a little contrast between these two. So let's go Monday the 16th, and we'll just make this a little bit neutral like that. That could work. And then we want to group the whole thing, and we could, let me see, one more thing. A little bit of drop shadow maybe. I think a little bit of drop shadow could help. Just a little bit, bring it down. We're at like 3% on the drop shadow. Simple, easy kind of thing there, okay? Now, why don't we do this? Why don't we Command or Control R and just repeat grid a bunch of these across, and then we can kind of do a little bit of the spacing and come back in here and do some different days. There's a Wednesday, there's a Thursday, we could slide over to a Friday. That's, wow, I messed that up. Okay, and I'll tell you what, let's just keep going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the way through the week, and we could do a little horizontal scroll on this thing. Now, I'm not going to update all the days because I don't got time for that. But what we could do after this is let's just ungroup from the grid, and really quickly let's add a border to this, and we'll make it like our active state, okay? Now we have all of these little date cards. Let's grab all of them, group them together, and then turn on, up here in the inspector panel, let's turn on the horizontal scrolling, and you can see it's created some confines for us. Let's pull this all the way out to the edge, and now we should be able to come into our prototype and move these around. That's pretty cool. That's pretty nice. So now we have that. We need to put in our, probably our habits that we need to do each day, right? So I hope everyone's enjoying this challenge so far. I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. Just cool colors, cool illustrations, and just really simple stuff. So I tell you what, let's do this. We want to turn on some smart guides, and let's just make sure things are lining up. I'm a big fan of smart guides. I don't know if you guys are, but they're just so easy to use, and you could just apply them like that. And now I have consistent padding, hopefully. Let's just cheat that and move that over a little bit like that. So consistent padding on everything. Okay, so that one's like 23. That's a weird number, but 23 away from the edge. Okay, let's make this one just a little bit smaller. And I'll tell you what, we're using this purple quite a bit. So let's come in here and save it there. And then let's come into our assets panel and let's save the purple there as well. You know why? Because then we can come down here and we can give it that purple. And when we check it off, we'll fill it in with the purple. That could be pretty cool. Let's take this same text, nothing exciting, just reuse it. And let's add a task, like read 10 pages of a book. This is a habit that I'm trying to make sure that I do every single day. Read 10 pages of a book. So let's pop that one in there. And I tell you what, let's make them a little bit more complex. Let's do something underneath, like 3 days, a 3-day streak. 3-day streak, okay? Underneath, we'll make it a little bit smaller, like maybe 12. Let's come into our inspector panel, be really specific. And then let's bring that down, just the size of it down and the color of it down, okay? And let's move it away just a little bit more, and let's do that. You know what we could do, just for spacing wise, we could actually just draw a rectangle, something like this. What was our smart guide? It was 23 away from the edge. Let's put another one about 23 away from the edge. So we'll just get make sure we're consistent in all things. Let's draw, I like to do this in my project, is draw an invisible table cell. I'm just gonna keep this one white, but it helps me if you look, grab all the elements here. Where'd my table cell go? Just make sure we drop it behind. There's our table cell, and grab all the elements and just kind of make sure they're lined up. Now we have spacing correct on the left and right, and on the top and bottom of each one of these. We can group them together. This is how much spacing and padding I want on each one of these, right? So now I can press Command or Control R and repeat grid, and I can, if I want to, I can just butt these up right against each other and not have to worry about any other spacing besides that, which is kind of cool. And if we want to, again, because it's a repeat grid, we can make this a little bit bigger, come into our repeat grid, and just readjust. You know, I think we did want them just a little bit bigger, like that. And I'll tell you what, let's just ungroup this from the grid for a second. Let's fix up what we had going on there. And there we go. Let's move that down a little bit. like that. Let's try that repeat grid one more time. Let's just do 3 of these, and then, yeah, 0 padding in between. Easy peasy. And I'll tell you what, let's just come down here. We don't have time for this navigation because we want to get to some cool prototyping, but let's just fill it with a really light, actually, let's fill it with that same color there, and we'll put a couple of circles inside to represent icons, shall we? Something like that. So we're not going to build a navigation today, no need for that, but we can use repeat grid again. Repeat grid for the win, and just space that out to hit the right hand edge, and now we have a little bottom navigation. Look how easy that was. I'm going to group that together. I'm just going to go back to my layers, and let's look at our layers really quick. Let's call this nav, and I'm going to press Command or Alt L to lock those, okay? And then I think that's good for us for right now. Why don't we work on a few swipe gestures? Because that's really what we want to get to today, isn't it? Some swipe gestures. I'm going to move this up so there's just a little bit more space there. Yep, that's perfect. That's exactly how I want that. And then I am actually going to, really quick, I'm gonna ungroup this from the grid, and I'm gonna take this element here. I should have thought about this. I want this to actually be a component, and I want it to have a couple more things going on. When I slide over to the right, and I will want to start these down a little bit further. So let's get rid of these two again. I kind of jumped the gun on that. Let's bring these all the way out to the edge like this. And then let's think of when we slide over, we might have something like another square, but this time it would be kind of like a delete color. Maybe not, we don't want to go harsh red like that. I like to have a little fun with my delete color. I feel like even though this is like an alert color, it matches our color palette a little bit more. And I'll tell you what, I need trash can icon, don't I? So I'm going to open up a little app I have called icon jar, and I'm going to pull in a little trash icon. Okay, just like that. It's a little SVG. Let's move it in, and let's just change it to be white, something simple like that. Really easy stuff here. Okay, I'm going to grab the shape, try to grab the shape here, and this is my trash bin. Let's move it inside. Let's grab the two, the red square and the icon, and just make sure they're all lined up. And I'm going to group those together, okay? I'm going to call that delete, and I don't need to spell it in all caps. Then I think I want to have, I definitely want to have another one of these, and it's going to be over on the left-hand side, or maybe we'll do a check mark on the right-hand side. Why don't we get our purple color? Well, we're doing red. We should probably do green. Let's go find a nice, fun green color. Doesn't need to be that intense. Okay, and let's make a check mark inside of here. So we're just going to come inside of our shape. Let's look at our layers here. We'll get rid of our bin. Here's our pen tool again, our trusty pen tool, and we're just going to make a really quick and easy check mark. Okay, so I'm going to make that white, and let's bring up the size of the border. There's my little chubby check mark, just like that. And we'll just center everything. Everything should be working fine. And what we want to do is, that one's not our delete, that one is our complete. So let's make a component out of that, a component out of that. Let's put them behind the whole thing. And well, we see like a little, we see that, the red one, just a little bit, don't we? So I'll tell you what, let's bring our border of our box out just a little bit, so everything's now kind of hiding behind it. Let's take the whole thing and we'll call it a habit cell, and let's make a component out of it. Okay, now here's what we want to do. We now have a couple of these, and let's butt them right up against each other. We're going to make a new artboard over here. Okay, now this artboard is going to be, what do we call this artboard? Let's call this one complete. And actually, before we go too much further, let's call this habit cell 1, habit cell 2, and habit cell 3. Okay, now let's copy those all over here. We want them to have different individual names so we can start kind of messing with them. And let's mess with them. Okay, we're going to take everything except for the complete, and we really don't need to move the delete either. And we're just going to move that over until it exposes the check mark. Okay, great. And then let's do a third state over here. and we'll call that complete one. Or what we're gonna do is we're going to move it, gonna move it off of the artboard, bring the opacity down. Let's bring the rest of these up into place, just like that, okay? And let's do another one really quickly. We're gonna slide over this way, and I'm gonna take this one and move everything over so that we can see the delete. Oh, we did that wrong, didn't we? We don't want that. Let's go back. This should have moved to the right to delete one. Sorry, duh. When we delete it, it should move off of the canvas. There we go. Now we want to move one over, and we want to try to complete this one. Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. Completed ones should slide back over. This will be fun. Should slide back over and should now change the little check mark thing there, right? Yeah, that'll be fun. So let's come in here, let's take this, and now let's fill it with the purple. And yeah, easy. And then let's take the written elements inside, the text here, and let's just gray them out. That'll be our style for completed, okay? So let's try that really quick. And let's head back to our habit tracker, our first one. So we're gonna just name these really quick. Let's just go, that one's called 1 in the step 2, 3, and 4. I don't have too much more time, so let's make this thing happen. I'm gonna grab the exact element, and oh, you know what? Totally messed up. I messed up. Do you know what I did? I actually moved the elements around inside of it. I want to be able to move this whole thing. We can fix this really quick. We got time. Let's go back. Let's go back. Here we go. I'm going to get rid of the delete and the complete. Let's take them out of there. Yeah. I'm going to fix it real fast. I promise. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get rid of all of these. We don't need these. We're going to fix everything we did. We broke things. We're doing stupid things. Okay. We actually have it cell 1, and we want... Let's make delete be underneath the first one and complete under the second one. We only got time to make 2. So let's just put these above like this. And let's do another one right there. Have it cell 2. Man, it's a Monday, isn't it? Okay, cool. So let's take all of these, the complete, the delete, all the habit cells. Let's move it over like this. Again, we want to be able to pull the entire cell over and then have it be deleted, right? Okay. Cool. Let's come to this one, and then when that happens, the delete and habit cell 1 will move out of the way like that, and the opacity of it should move down. Let's zoom in and see what we're working on. Okay, and let's just move the habit cell out of the way, and everything should opacity. Well, we actually don't have to opacity it down. And then this one and the complete should move up like that. Good. Okay. Now, once that one is up, we should copy it over here, and we want to move this one this way to expose complete. And when we do, we're going to move it back into place, and we are going to give it our complete fill state. Okay, so bring that down, and that should be what we're doing. Okay. Very, very cool. We don't have time for our fancy animation today. So sorry about that. Let's go to our prototype here, and we are going to select on the actual cell, and we're going to drag and wire up a prototype there. Let's get rid of any other prototypes that we have going on. We just want this one, and we don't want to tap. We want to drag auto-animate over to 1. Let's do a little bit of easing, like ease in, out. Perfect. And now drag it over, and then as soon as we are done there, we can do a timed animation over to the next one. So let's go timed, and it'll auto animate over to there, no delay. The duration's that long. This one we're going to drag over. It's going to be on. Ooh. This one already has, for some reason, a prototype connected to it. So we're going to move that one over, and I'm going to run out of time. So let's just try that really quickly and see what we got. Here we go. We should be able to drag this one over, and when we release it, it disappears. Drag this one over, and we didn't have time for it. But you can see our prototype was coming together, but we ran out of time. I have just enough time to look at one amazing piece of work from Sarah Newman, and it was submitted for last Friday's team member agenda application design that we did. and the animation was really, really slick. I'm so sorry, everybody. I ran out of time today. My Mondays, I got to get kicked into gear. We'll be right back here tomorrow for Tuesday. Stay tuned. We have some amazing things on the schedule. We have Design in the Dark with Simone Wilder and Andrew coming up right after me. We had a full day of content, and we will be right back here tomorrow for the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. We will see you then. Take care.